Now we have a special guest who's going to join me on stage for our tribe talk. Often behind the scenes, not many of you know, one of our staff members, Kylea, has been with us here for, I guess it's about 5 or 6 months, and she takes care of our little kids in Arkland, and she does an amazing job. And she has not done a tribe talk yet, and so she got thrown under the bus by a couple other staff members who were like, I'm sorry, but it's time. So would you give Kylea a warm welcome as she comes share with us for our tribe talk this morning? Now, she's a little bit of a talker, so 3 minutes, here you go.
Thanks. Hi, good morning. So I know you guys have been talking about Abraham in your studies, and one of the verses in the Bible that I think really sums up Abraham's story, Abraham's journey, is Hebrews 11:8, which says, "And he went out not knowing where he was going." A theme that is consistent throughout Abraham's story is his blind faith in God. When he didn't know what God wanted him to do or why or how it was going to happen, he had blind faith in God. What Abraham could see is that he was old. He was 75. He could see his wife was barren. Later, when he was in Canaan, he could see that there was a famine, and he could see his shortcomings and his failings and the things that he had done wrong. But those aren't the things that Abraham decided to focus on. That's not what he decided to root his faith in. He decided to root his faith in God's promises. He knew that God promised him a son. He knew that God promised him that he would have as many descendants as the stars in the sky, and that is what he chose to root his faith in. And when we choose to root our faith in God's promises like that, that is how we can get past our today and walk in the will of God. We can get past our circumstances and the things that go wrong in life, the things that make us feel like we can't accomplish the will of God. We can get past those things if we look up towards God's promises. It's only when we can stop looking at the craziness and we look up that we can really receive God's grace and walk in his righteousness and walk in his will continuously. Like the 3 wise men, when they went to go look for Jesus, they had to follow a star. We have to look up if we're going to make our way to the King. To find our way to the King, we have to look up. Romans 4:3 says that Abraham believed in God and it was accounted to him for righteousness. So all he did was believe. All he did was put a little bit of faith in God, put his blind, full hope in him, and God met him there with his grace. And God will meet us there with his grace if we put our blind faith in him, despite what's happening, not because of what's happening, the good or the bad, but despite what's happening. If we put our faith in God, he will meet us there and make us righteous in him. So I just want to encourage you, like Abraham, to put your full faith in God. And you're going to be able to accomplish his will for your life no matter what's happening around you, no matter how many times you fall down, you'll always be able to get back up as long as you put your faith in God. Because when we look up and we focus on God's promises, so we're able to walk straight in what God has for us.
Well done. Well done. That was awesome. All right. I love that as well, that passage in Romans he used. It says that Abraham, against all hope, in hope believed. Anybody ever had to hope against hope? And it doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but God said it would happen. You hope, you hold on to hope, and Hebrews tells us that we have this hope as an anchor for our soul, and it doesn't disappoint us. Amen? So even when we can't see it, it's like Kylea said, in those moments where you can't see it, oftentimes your emotions tend to get away from you. Anchor for our soul is that hope in him. What a great job.